Good morning. Welcome to Unity Longmont Spiritual Center on the 20th of January, 2023. We are blessed to have Faith Halverson Ramos to provide music, and we'll be doing our talk and meditation. So let us start with Faith.
The first song today is I Am the Thinker by Sue K. Riley. I am the thinker who thinks a thought that changes things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought I have to change my life. I am who thinks the thought that changes things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought I have the power to change my life. And if you ask me who am I am wisdom, I am light, I am more than meets the eye, I cannot be defined. I am the thinker who thinks a thought that changes things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks a thought I have the power to change my life. And if you ask me what am I am beauty, I am joy, I am more than meets the eye, I cannot be defined. I am the thinker who thinks a thought that changes things that shape my life. I'm the thinker who thinks a thought I have the power to change my life. I have changed my life. The power to change my life.
Thank you, Faith. Have a song mentioning some of the 12 powers. So let us take a breath and we'll go into prayer together. Beloved presence, everywhere present, we celebrate being together today and are reminded of the powers inherent in each of us. The power of power and imagination, wisdom, discernment, and so many others. And we call those forth simply by remembering them and learning from them. And so it is, we say thank you. And so it is, amen. We'll hear from Faith again.
This next song is I Walk Away by Eddie Watt. Every morning, the light keeps getting brighter. Wake up to the truth. Every day, I'm feeling so much lighter, and the world seems fresh and new. What I was taught and the way that I thought stopped serving me long ago. Now I'm learning to trust in the God of us. Each day I start anew, and so I'm walking away from the thinking that held me for so long. Today, walk away. I'm walking away from the path that led me to confusion. Today is the day I walk away. I'm walking away from the thinking that held me for so long. Today is the day I walk away. I I'm walking away from the path that led to madness. Today is the day I walk away. Every day I walk away. Every morning brings a new beginning. By grace another day. I awaken to the sun upon me shining, lighting the way for me to see things that I sought and the way that I thought stopped serving me long ago. Now I'm learning to trust in the God of all of us. Of yesterday I'm letting go. I'm walking away from the thinking that held me for so long. Today is the day I walk away. I'm walking away from the path that led me to confusion. Today is the day I walk away. I'm walking away from the less than that held me for so long. Today is the day I walking away from the path that led me to such sadness. Today is the day I walk away. Every day I walk away. Today is the day I walk away.
Thank you, Faith. So let us walk toward the light together with Bobbie Wilson.
There, unmuted. It's good to see everyone here. I feel so blessed to be part of this group. I feel so blessed to be part of this group when I'm 1,000 miles away. It's really an anchor in my life. And so one of the blessings is that I can explore with you things that I'm encountering on my spiritual path, and know that you will actually understand and accept and, hear what I have to say. And lately, what I've been focused on, the idea of paradox. As we pursue a spiritual path, in the beginning, it may seem like a very linear kind of progressive thing that leads us to an end. But as we get further and further into that path, all of a sudden, we are faced with all these paradoxes, these seemingly contradictory things that are both true. For example, I'm a human and I'm divine. Both true. Let me figure this out. Let's see how these two things join. Let me do a Venn diagram of where the two intersect, and we can look at, and the mind does that, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it's not really the truth. And I think the truth only comes as we experience and let ourselves broaden and open to the experience of this magnificence of who we are and who each of us is and who all of us are, even though in the world of humanity, of duality, it may look chaotic, it may look unjust, and yet underneath it all, behind it all, is oneness, holding it, is present. Because we don't really understand what's going on, do we? I have found a Netflix documentary that I highly recommend. It's called Our Universe. And it's narrated by, I think, did you see it? It's Denzel Washington. And what it does is it goes back and forth between the beginning of the universe 13 billion years ago and today. And it looks like at an animal or a plant or something, and it ties it together. It's like, oh, there's a thread, there's a oneness, there's something that's continuous, the beginning to now. So I just wanted to mention that because I find it really, really powerful. So a little bit, this paradox, and I call it, on one hand, pick a side, and on the other hand, there are no sides, all is one. So, we're born and we come in all, or maybe we come in with some ancestral DNA proclivities, whatever. And we're taught very quickly to name things. And once we have a name, then we give it characteristics and we judge it and we talk about it as if it's a unique thing. And that's the recipe we use throughout our lives. When we see something in the world, oh, I see that. That looks like a tree. That's a good tree. Or that tree over there is planted in the wrong place. That's a wrong, there's something wrong with that. They should remove that tree. And we go through life making these distinctions of I want, I don't want. I'm drawn to, I'm repelled by. And that's how duality works. There's nothing wrong with that. That's just what it is. When you have to live in the illusion of separation, you have to have the forces inherent in creating the phenomena of separation, which is you have to see things as separate. You have to experience things as separate. And yet, it takes so much energy, doesn't it? Often to protect, to keep the separation going. And one of the things that we inherit, I think, in our DNA is the idea that we have to fear others. We have to fear coming together. We have to fear. If you look at the animal kingdom, I don't know that there's so much fear there, but they're hungry and they find food. They search for food all the time. That's their life. If you look at humans, we don't have that so much in this world anymore. Recognize that we come in as a hungry, wanting, grasping thing because our physical hunger needs are usually met. And yet our ego wants us to keep maintaining this idea that we are separate because we fear being together, because we fear that our needs, there isn't enough. So we pick sides. We pick sides that's going to lead us to feeling more safe, more taken care of, more abundant, more prosperous. I'm going to unpack this a little bit about picking sides because I think it's very fascinating. Let's look at the Broncos. Right? We love them. We're on their side. We're going to root for them. Yay, Broncos. Boy, and that's fun. I mean, I do it all the time. I love it. It's fun. And this is how we're wired to pick a team, and sports is a nice demonstration of how that harmlessly, usually, plays out. Except when it isn't. The Broncos should have won. There was something wrong with the referee, and we get all angry and we get all violent and we want to go out and, suffer because our team lost. Then we believed something. Then we believed that they should have won, and we get all wrapped up in a belief. There's nothing wrong with picking a side when we don't wrap it up in beliefs. But when we wrap it up in beliefs, it becomes a point of suffering for us. We suffer because what we believed should have happened didn't. Let's take another example of picking a side. Move to politics. Politics. This is more loaded, more dangerous, because our beliefs wrapped up in politics are that we can really be affected by those in control. We can really be affected by our government. So we choose a party that helps us feel safer, that helps us feel truer to our beliefs. We choose a party that we give the cachet of truth to. Is this party for fairness? Is it for justice? Is it for equality? Is it for democracy? All of these things that we believe in. And there's nothing wrong with that until we believe we're right and they're wrong. Until we make it us and them. And then we don't see the unity. We've lost the ability to see the God in them and in us. So politics, pick a side, is a little more hefty. It's a little more, what's the word? It causes us to suffer more when our side loses. And it causes us to be more proud and puffed up when our side wins. We have that Schadenfreude thing going on. Picking a side in politics can be a little more, we can be a little more stuck in there. We can lose the ability to God in each other. And it's kind of more difficult when we're wrapped up in thinking our political party is the truth and the other one is a lie, to actually open, forgiving awareness that sees the presence of God everywhere. But that's just natural. It's just part of being human. I think the remedy is to see that we do it. Just look at it. Yeah, I'm party, and I'm aware of that. And I'm also aware that it doesn't hold truth. It holds desires, it holds preferences, be held by one side or another side. Truth is true, always, everywhere. Let's look at another big way we are taught to pick a side. Religion. We are born into families that already have religions usually, or they have no religion, or they're atheist or whatever. And we're taught from an early age that our religion is the one true religion. And then we have to do to adhere to it. And those other people, they've got it wrong. Now, not anything necessarily inherently wrong with that, as long as we're aware that our religion is leading us on a path to the ultimate truth shares, and that there are many paths, and that we are free to take the path that is most meaningful to us. And so are the others. However, when we wrap our religion up in the belief that it is right and everything else is wrong, and this picked is the truth, and it's the one we will die for and the one we will fight for, then we suffer. All of the, well, not all, but a lot of the huge major earthly conflicts are based on religions. Look at the Crusades. Religions have spawned some of the most violent of conflicts when we take them to be the truth. They all started out with someone having a revelation of truth. But as our egos glommed onto that revelation and brought it down to duality, they took on then the face of a side of duality. Now, that being our human nature, I'm going to assert, what do we do with it? We know we pick sides. It's okay as humans. But here's the neat thing about that. Once we pick a side and we believe in it, and all of a sudden it fails us, or it doesn't win, or it whatever, and we suffer, it's motivating to look beyond our beliefs around that. It's motivating us to move, to escape, to be aware, and move further into our spiritual path, to move beyond the duality of it, to say, I experience when I hug a tree that there's spirit there. I really truly experience when I listen to someone and look in their eyes, there's spirit there. I really truly experience when I look at myself as a tiny little girl and myself now as an old woman, that there is something in there that's the same, that's been continuous, even though the body has changed, these situations have changed. And so we can use our duality to move us toward our oneness. And that's a beautiful thing. So let's unpack oneness a little bit. It's an experience. It's nothing we can wrap our minds around, is it? We can talk about it, point to it, use words, but words can never really get it. They can't grasp it. So often, because our minds can't grasp it, and we are so attached to our mental capacities, our analytical abilities, we discount our oneness experiences. We discount the fact that we, if we can actually feel the presence. We discount the fact that even though we meet someone who we might see as our worst enemy, if we sit and listen and see, we can see ourselves in them. So we discount our oneness in so many ways because we've put our awareness on our mental capacities and not on our experiences. So let's let our minds relax so that we can really see and feel what we sense as oneness. And this can be scary because we're going into a place where we don't have a model structure. We don't have anything to describe it. What if we moved into that? I'm going to read a little poem from Kabir. I believe he was a Sufi mystic. I could be wrong about that. So Kabir says, my mind became thin and fine. I love that. That just grabs me. It's almost like the mind is transparent. My mind became thin and fine and made its home in the void. How scary is that? The void. We don't know what that is, and yet experience it. My mind became thin and fine and made its home in the void. Seeing its origin, it attained peace. It attained peace when it saw. And it will never part again. There's peace. There's the end of suffering. When we focus on the source, on the presence, all the phenomena of our duality becomes less apparent. And all the reality of our source and oneness becomes more apparent. And when that happens, we suffer less. We can look at the messed up world, the chaos, the pain, the suffering, the injustice, and we can be with it in a way that is healing for us and for everything else. I'm going to tell a story. I thought I did, but I looked back in my talks and I can't find any evidence of it. If I told it to you before, please bear with me. It has another part to it. So I'm in the airport last month. We went to visit our son, and sitting in the airport, I think it was in Phoenix, and in come these two elderly women, loud, abrasive, sloppy, messy, yelling at each other, just not my kind of people. And I'm sitting in my chair in the waiting area to get on the plane, and I'm like willing these women to sit, please. Well, wouldn't you know it, plunked down right beside me. Now, there was nothing wrong with these women. It's just that I saw such separation between them and me. Behave that way. I'm not sloppy. I don't let it all hang out when I dress, and bitch back and forth to my friends anyway. So I'm sitting there, and the woman is trying to engage me, and I'm trying to distance myself. And finally she offers me a candy bar, and I said, no, thank you. Very primly and snobbishly. And so she looks at the other woman. She says, well, she don't want it. So just leave it there. And then they go off to board the plane. And I go off to board the plane, and there's the candy bar sitting there. Later, as I reviewed that experience, because I was aware of my separation, and I was aware of refusing gift, and I got this message. Well, Jesus just showed up as two sloppy women. Jesus was being loud and sloppy then, and you didn't receive it. Okay, lesson learned. So, second part of the story is, I'm in the supermarket a couple days ago, and I'm getting my stuff together, and I'm aware of a woman who's got a shopping bag, and it's a pretty woman. She's got beautiful big dreadlocks, and I was admiring her hair, and her demeanor and walked around the grocery store. I saw her a couple of times more. I was getting ready to check out. She comes over and said, "Ma'am, I'm a little short. I just moved into my apartment. Could you spare me $5?" She said, I didn't bring enough. And I'm thinking, because I wasn't afraid of this woman. She was sweet. And so I thought, I just said, well, yes, I can. I have $5. Because I was thinking, well, there's $5 somewhere in my wallet. Now, if you've ever been in my wallet, it's not a place you want to be. It's crammed full of everything. It's my cards, my COVID-19 certificates, my receipts, and somewhere in there is money. Well, give me a minute. I think I have a 5. I go into my wallet, and wouldn't you know, there's a 5 sticking up out of the wallet. Okay, picked it up, gave it to her. She thanked me profusely. We wished each other a good day and went on. And I'm feeling like, oh, that was kind of nice. But what I noticed was there was no other than I felt safe. I didn't feel separate because this was speaking my language, right? She kind of looked together. Later, as I reviewed that experience, I'm thinking she was homeless and she was panhandling, and she probably was. I thought, well, isn't that interesting? Someone who looks like me, who feels like me, I'm more willing to give and receive than if I don't relate to them. And so I thought to myself, there was Jesus, a very from something from me. And it's always safer for me to feel like the receiver, because the giver is sort of a situation where I have enough. The receiver doesn't. So I reviewed that and I thought, isn't that interesting how we can feel connected to or feel separated from based on picking a side, based on our natural tendency, living in a dual world, to choose. And I think that's wonderful that we can, and it's wonderful that we do, as long as we remain aware that it isn't the truth about us. The truth about us is that the sloppy women I met in the airport and the women I met in the grocery store are all one. And they're me. And we're all it. Isn't that a beautiful paradox? So the next time you feel like you have to pick a side or fight for a side, or, go ahead and do it. Because that's the world we live in. We kind of are programmed to, we have to. But also just smile and know that you have some interesting teachings coming your way, and that this you're picking isn't the truth, but it will lead you to the truth when you begin to see that it isn't the truth. And those teachings will lead you home, lead us all home, lead us into that one beingness that we are. Jesus said, and I love the Gospel of Thomas, but Jesus said, the kingdom of God is among you, inside and outside you. When you come to know yourselves, then you will be known, and you will realize it is you who are the sons of the living Father. He also said, that which you, if you bring it forth from yourselves, that which you do not have within you will kill you if you do not have it within you. In other words, if you do not open to the oneness that you are, spirit will shrink. That which you don't have inside of you will kill you. And he also said, the kingdom of the Father is spread out upon the earth, and the people do not see it. All of the people on the earth, all of the creatures on the earth, all of the phenomena on the earth, all of the universe contains the kingdom. One other final, my time is going here. One other that hit me like a ton of bricks was, as I was contemplating this paradox, that presence is in all things. It's in the tree, it's in the other person, it's in each cell in my body. I am made up, you are made up, we are made up of the presence of the oneness. It's our basic building block. It's who we are. And once you grasp that, then you can see that this duality enables us to step back from see who we are. It enables God to see God. Does that make sense? God to see God, and how precious we each are, all of us. The ones we like, fear, the ones we don't like, precious parts of God. And so it is. We can do a tiny little now to kind of anchor that. So allow yourself to sit in your chair and feel the seat of the chair on your butt. Allow your eyes to close, allow the breath in, and allow yourself to relax enough of your mind that you can open to every sensation, every thought, every idea. Allow your mind to become thin and fine and make it and see its origin and attain peace, so it will never part from its source again. With gratitude, so it is.
Thank you. Let's hear from Faith.
This song is I'm Here to Remind You by David Alt. Here to remind you of your magnificence, to help you awake to that you are, to show you all the joy you're worthy of. I'm here to remind you how much you're truly loved. help me awake to all the that I am. You long to show me all the joy worthy of. You're here to remind me how much I'm truly loved. You're here to remind me how much I'm truly loved.
Thank you, Faith, for that magnificence. So it's at this time that we go into our donation of love and light together, again by taking a breath and being aware of who we are, who we truly are, love and light, allowing ourselves to experience that. And simply noticing the love and light can expand. It can expand beyond our human bodies. And it can be shared. As we share this love and light, we benefit also by remembering who we are, of value to share. And we say thank you. And so it is. And we will finish with Faith.
I'm going to close with a slight variation on Annie Sims's Love is Who I Am. I'm going to change it to Love is Who We Are. We are surrounded by love. We are surrounded by love. We are surrounded by love. Love is who we are. We are supported by love. We are supported by love. We are supported by love. Love is who we are. This love won't let us fall.